gonna watch any of them, just watch this one because it's so funny.
It's
so fun.
Or the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Both are really awesome.
All right, moving on. This movie was another pseudo introductory piece. This character was introduced in Civil War. Black Panther. Wow. All right. Black Panther suffers from the same thing that a lot of the Marvel movies suffer from, which is a third act where they go, oh, we gotta have a big special effects battle. Which is the same thing.
It's the worst part in the whole fucking movie.
It is, because the world building, the character development.
Yeah, I didn't think about the world building.
The world building. Wakanda, the concept of a country that has never been colonized, never been influenced by European, American...
I love the conflict. The conflict of, you're this powerful and you're not helping anybody. That's fucked up. And I think so many people...
which is why Killmonger is such a good villain.
Yeah, because so many people feel that way.
Because you connect to his mindset of, like, you have all this power, and you haven't shared it, and our people... And, Grant, look, I'm a white, straight dude.
Are you?
Yes.
Oh, shit. You are?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I can only talk so much about this topic, but... You know, I don't want to get political on our videos. We're a nerd channel. But black people do suffer. They are suffering. It is hard to be black in the world. And this movie addresses that. And Killmonger, yeah, he's an extremist.
We're not black. We don't know the black person experience, okay?
No, we don't.
We're not saying that.
No, we don't. I don't. I absolutely do not.
I have empathy for whatever is going on, but I understand that I don't know what it's like. And I think it seems like Black Panther maybe connects with that kind of issue, but I wouldn't know. And
you have to think about also look at the impact that it had.
Have you noticed that, like, when Black Panther came out, it was almost, this is kind of weird too. I would see complaints of like a black person would be like, if I don't like say that I like this movie, I'll be like ridiculed or
thankfully
cast
it was
out.
A really good movie, so you didn't have that happen too much.
But yeah, like I've heard those complaints before. So
my only complaint is the third act. That's it.
I think if you're,
other than that, it's so well
if you're a certain race, you can like or not like whatever you want. Okay.
Yeah.
No matter what race you are. But so don't feel the need to like Black Panther because of anything else.
Right.
Just take it as a movie. It's really good, and especially the villain.
Like it.
And I mean, I understand the issue. It's because these guys are basically royalty. They don't understand the world because they're not really a part of it. They're on their own fucking universe. So of course they're kind of out of touch.
The concept of a completely secluded, highly technological country, African country, that has never been colonized, never been touched by outside sources, and it's just having to think of world building for that concept was so fascinating. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The third act obviously has the big battle sequence, which is kind of didn't need to happen, honestly.
All right, so hold on. For world building, I want to go back to your story thing, your plot thing.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the plot?
I love the plot.
Really?
Yeah.
This guy is so fucking... He needs the plot to be so good. You wouldn't change anything?
I mean, I would change the third act, where I would probably just... I don't want to be super repetitive, so I wouldn't necessarily want to do... But I would want to just...
I wouldn't know what to do, because they have that battle, really and I wouldn't know what to put in place of it. But, I mean, it is what it is. It's a cheap...
If you wanted to... So...
If anything else is good for kids. They're going to like the different...
If you redid... Basically what you could have done, or what I would have probably done, is do, like, that cliffside waterfall fight type thing.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Like they do twice in the movie. But I would do that probably in the throne room between Killmonger and Black Panther.
That would be cool.
But something just smaller scale, more personal, and I think that would have really suited it better.
Yeah, when they go down into the weird subway or whatever the frick that thing was, it just felt so weird.
I get what they were going for, but it really
pulled us all out.
Yeah. Because, like, that fight sequence really hurts it, but, like, the end of the fight sequence...
Yeah, then it goes back to just being a really
emotional. That's
serious movie with a great tone. Yeah.
But all in all...
I don't think it deserves... I've seen a lot of I've seen a lot of hate for this movie. I don't think it deserves. I don't think it deserves the hate. Most of the movie just has really great tone and acting and story, and you can really hold on to it and emotional impact. Yeah. All right, good movie. Watch that shit. Next one.
Next is Avengers: Infinity War.
This is by far my favorite fucking movie of all time. I don't give a shit. I know there's other movies like no. This is my favorite fucking movie of all time. I understand there's like Godfather and there's all Shawshank Redemption, Forrest Gump, all kinds of these great movies. I understand.
It is incredibly rare to find a movie where the bad guy wins. And the bad guy wins in this movie. He accomplishes his goal. Thanos accomplishes his goal.
Because remember, folks, it's all about just focusing on the goal and going towards it.
What's amazing about Infinity War
for the moon.
Is because you've had so many movies, right? So many movies building these characters. You didn't really have to focus on them as much.
So I think Infinity War is interesting in that, like, there's always expectations for MCU movies. There's expectations for what's going to happen with Thanos. It's probably the 20th movie or something like that.
Yeah.
Is he gonna? I mean, it's kind of well known he's going to kill half the population. That's the beginning of the Infinity War comic. One of the few comic books I've read. I'm sorry, Infinity Gauntlet.
Infinity Gauntlet. That's literally like the first thing that he does.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, so basically, this movie it combines Infinity Gauntlet and Thanos Quest. Thanos Quest is pretty interesting. In that comic, he goes around to like the most powerful.
It's him getting the stones, right?
Yeah, he goes to the most powerful entities in the universe, and he has to go to like usually like a battle of wits or some kind of like crazy, contest to figure out how to beat them so he can get one of the Infinity Gems. Mm-hmm. But in this movie, obviously, he does it in different ways. He just mainly just kills and goes to battle, which is fine. But they take so many elements from the Fallout comic, which is Infinity Gauntlet, which is just the very beginning he kills half the people, and then he goes to battle directly afterwards. And that comic is goddamn spectacular. And you get little things like when Drax turns to cubes and that girl turns to ribbons, that actually happens. There's way more dark shit in that comic, though. It's wild.
Thanos is incredibly powerful.
I like Thanos better in Infinity War than the comic, actually.
Yeah, because they made him such a good villain.
He was obsessed with love. He was obsessed with some chick in the comic, which is fine. It happens.
So in the comic, he was...
No, he's not just some chick, but
in the comic,
still.
he was in love with the manifestation of death, and that's why he was trying to give her things. In the movie...
Don't change yourself just because you like someone. Just be yourself, and then see if they accept you for who you are. Otherwise, it's not real, Thanos.
In the movie, Thanos saw his planet die because there were too big of a population and not enough resources. And he took that to mean we need to get rid of half the population at random. And he just basically took that on a universal scale. And that's what he did.
He's obviously
War
retarded.
is his movie.
Because if you just think about it for a second, you realize all of society completely fucking falls apart. Then they have to like try to pick up the pieces, which takes God knows how long. It probably never even happens. Because they're just focusing on all the strife.
You have to be
it's their new tortured life they have
when you're
now.
A super cold, dead inside,
just completely detached from what the actual universe is.
Then yeah, it's probably thinking
bad things are bad.
It's super easy.
Bad things are bad, so I'm making something good.
Anyway,
man.
This movie obviously it's all of the characters minus like 3 that I could think of. Like Ant-Man and Hawkeye are like the only 2 I can think of who aren't in it.
Right.
Everybody else is in it. The fight sequences are really, really good. That's basically what the Avengers do. It's not their movie. This is Thanos' movie. They are setting up the best villain that they've ever had. The one that they've been setting up for 10 years almost.
I wonder how many people even know like who this guy even is. I'm sure a lot of people know that he's powerful, but for the people that haven't read the comics,
I mean, it's just...
And to get this introduction, that's a nice introduction.
They do such an incredible job. And to the point that in the post-credit, like whenever they say such and such will return in the next whatever movie, like they do that with each MCU movie, it said Thanos will return. And I was just like, wow. Infinity War but in terms of like action set pieces, watching the Avengers try their damnedest to fight Thanos and they just failed over and over and over again.
I want to talk about how like this movie is kind of, if you want to, you could separate into like multiple chapters.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting how it does that. Like Guardians of the Galaxy meet Thor, Doctor Strange meets Tony Stark. They do their thing. There's the battle against Thanos. There's a battle in Wakanda. Mm-hmm. All these little things are just their own interesting movie. Like Thor trying to get the Stormbreaker. Getting goosebumps thinking about all this stuff. It's so well done.
When Thor shows up in Wakanda.
There's so much comedy mixed with tragedy, and it's not cheap. It's all very heavy. All the serious notes are so heavy.
Fuck you, Star-Lord. I'm sorry, but you fucked up all of it.
He did the same shit he did with his dad. He lost his fucking mind. And
he's an idiot!
Yes.
He's an idiot.
He's blinded. Hey guys, listen to this, right? If you get blinded by your emotions...
all of them died because of him.
You can end up causing problems. So, a lot of times...
Shut out your emotions, kids. That's what he's saying.
Even in that situation, what you want to do is not be so reactionary. Take a step back, think about what you're doing and the consequences. Mm-hmm. Usually it just takes a couple seconds for you to realize all the things.
But anyway, he snaps half the population. That was one of the hardest things to watch, was watching some of those characters dust away. And I really had a hard time with that. I was crying at the end. Oh my god, Peter.
So I watched. Hold on.
Oh, Spider-Man.
I watched some random video clip of the Avengers fighting Thanos for some reason. This is before I even knew Infinity War was coming out. Doesn't matter. And it was just really interesting how it was like 6 main Avengers and they were fighting Thanos, and Thanos would do something, they would all die, but then they would find a way to throw a wrench in his plan, they would all come back to life. And I thought that's what this movie was going to be about. So that's why when they were about to die, I was like, oh, well, whatever. They died a whole bunch in that one episode I saw, so it doesn't even matter. So I expected them to die and I didn't care. However...
subversion expectation.
But I knew he was going to win, but they made it super heavy when he won. Every little scene they showed, and oh man, I want to talk about the creative choices here. Of him dusting people, they cut out the music and then make a sound, a whoosh sound.
Yeah.
And it's just it gives you the feeling of emptiness.
Quiet.
It's like it's you really feel for these characters that are watching their friends